Good morning. It is Monday, May 20th. Buckle up, buddy. It's going to be a long one. We're throwing it back 80 style every morning, so wada. But if you're watching, it is not an illusion. My hair has turned horribly yellow. I'm in the process of whitening it. It will be white. It's just horrifically yellow right now. It just looks horrible, but it will be white. We're on day one. Well, give me a break here. I do want to point out a couple of things. First off, Trendspider is having a phenomenal Memorial Day sale. Early bird. Today and tomorrow, you get an additional 5% off. So 65% off, limited time, up to 65% off. You get 6 months free. It's half price. Look at the yearly price. Okay, the regular yearly price is, the sale price went from $582 to $552. So $552 for the first year, and you get 6 months for free. So your standard is $46. Your enhanced, $49. It went from $1182 to $591. $591. So for the full year, again, I suggest this is a slow process. This is the charting program that I use, but Trendspider is on sale. Offer expires in 1 day, 15 hours. So get it while you can. If you watch me, if this is your first time here, just watch how I use the charts. Watch how I use Trendspider. Get a free charting program if you don't know charting. It is important. And part of the reason I say it's important is because of the paid newsletter. If you haven't had this cocoa, by the way, KOIA protein dream, 18 grams of protein. It is phenomenal. Plant-based. I am plant-based. But if you are looking at today's market, and you say, God, those meme stocks look crazy good. What should I do? Well, you should sign up for the paid newsletter because I give you A+ setups. There are 3 indicators that I use to try and find these things on 5-minute charts. And if you were using them, you could absolutely see, opportunities in the market. I teach you how to find these on 5-minute charts. And if we go to a 5-minute chart and we look at FFIE, look at those setups. This is how the setups work. Setup 1, which was May 15th, 71%. Setup 2, 86%. In 2 hours. 2 hours, you almost doubled your money. 2 hours. And this one, I teach you why you didn't want to get in. If you got in on Friday and you just said, hey, this looks like an A+ setup for me. Gary says it's an A+ setup. Why shouldn't I take it? I pointed out in the newsletter why. This is the chart that's in the newsletter. I pointed out why. If you got into this, you lost 88%. Doesn't mean that today you're not doing great. Today, when you look at the after hours, You are up 100% in pre-market today with FFIE. This is how you trade it. This newsletter is everything that you need to trade it. And again, it uses Trendspider, but you don't need Trendspider. You could get Webull, the Webull desktop software. And you could do it in that. Again, it's a 5-minute chart, but that 5-minute carries over to a 4-hour, to a daily, to a weekly, whatever you want. If you were looking at the 4-hour, the 4-hour algorithm has you in here at FFIE at 5 cents. Boy, isn't that a good thing? It went up to $3.90. Let's see, the high was $3.90 here on May 17th. Boy, that would be nice to have that 5 cents to $3.90. That's an 8,000% increase. $100 turns to what? 8,000? That's an 8,000% increase. So again, it is an incredible stock to trade. You have to know how to trade it. I do not suggest getting into this one unless you understand charts. This has no fundamental basis whatsoever. None. You want to trade this on a short time frame, and that newsletter absolutely teaches you how to do it. GameStop is dead. So go and watch this 1 minute and 10 seconds about this guy on TikTok. This is the guy you don't want to be. And how do you not be this guy? You get my paid newsletter. It's a free 7-day trial. Even if you don't get the paid version, get the free version. I teach you plenty of things, plenty of ways how to do this. This one, recent post 517, how to trade the stocks using charts. not last Friday's. Go and listen to last Friday's stuff. That's how you want to trade this stuff. Do not be this guy. He's putting in money because of the previous price of GameStop at 400. It is not going back to 400. And part of the reason why it's not going back to 400 is because of this T+1. We were settlement at 2 days, 48 hours. The settlement at 2 days is going down to 1. Nobody knows exactly what this means. Years ago, it was T+5 for settlement. It went to T+2. So read this article on Seeking Alpha if you are trading meme stocks. This has a heavy implication for Hood, heavy implication for Schwab, Morgan Stanley, Interactive Brokers, and Cash App, which all need to do T+2. So read this article. It's about the settlement date, but don't be that guy who just goes absolutely crazy and says, oh, GameStop, it's going to go up. FFIE, it's going to go up. It won't. You have to understand charting. So make sure that you get that and read that article. Now, I do want to point out, I've been saying this for a while, we are in a bull market. Now, the biggest bear on Wall Street has been Mike Wilson. If you don't know Mike Wilson, he has been calling the last 5,000 of 2 crashes. He calls for a crash every time the market is up. And so if we look at QQQ, let's just go look at QQQ. Yes, we are at all-time highs. We've pulled back a little bit from the couple of days. The all-time high here, 454 on the Qs. That's an all-time high. The MACD, super high, seems to be crossing down. The RSI, 72. It's coming off of 77. So we are overextended. Does that mean that you get out of the market? Absolutely not. You don't want to miss these. If you had gotten out of the market here and timed it at 432, did you know to buy back in at 421? Probably not. That's why the 4-hour algorithm is so good. It didn't get you out. Still has you in from 426. Didn't feel comfortable when you went up to 434 and then came right back down to 422. Didn't feel comfortable, but the algorithm knows well enough that it keeps you in. Again, the algorithm makes you 49%. Buying and holding makes you 55% on the Qs over 2 years, 23 positions. So if you're afraid of these kind of ups and downs, and you are a historic Mike Wilson, and you say, yes, we're going to crash, this is where the 4-hour algorithm helps you. It takes emotion out of the market. So if you just want to follow it, you're still keeping up with the Qs, but you're just not crashing. So understand there's tax implications in brokerage firms when you pull out. In retirement accounts, you can trade pretty safely in these types of things. But I've outlined here 407. It's the downside. This is the bear case. The bull case was 449. That was getting back to the all-time highs. We exceeded it. Have we held it? Not for long enough to make me feel comfortable to know that, yes, we're going higher, but we've got earnings. And so earnings this week with NVIDIA, that's going to drive the market. We'll go over all the catalysts, but understand this S&P target that Mike Wilson has, 6,300 on the S&P. So if we go to SPY, because remember the S&P at 6,300, that would be $630 on SPY. We are trading at 529 right now. That is 600, same thing. It is literally the same thing as the Qs. I pointed out here, 479 was a long time kind of a support level. That's where we were at. We pulled back. We came back into the 400s back in April, and we just soared back to 500. So the S&P right now is at 5290. SPY is at 529. So this is a great way to take a look at the market when the bears start turning to bulls, meaning that they are thinking that it's higher, and they give you reasons. Again, Mike Wilson specifically says the bull case is for 6,300. He highlights the services portion of the market with AI-driven gains and high margins. We talked about it. It's an AI and a GLP-1 market. So he's pointing out AI as bringing some of these margins up. Now, Catalyst Watch, it's AI in the spotlight with NVIDIA earnings, Microsoft Build, there's an IBM event. Monday, we have some earnings. We have PANW, we have Li Auto, we have Zoom. PANW is in the core portfolio. It is one that I hold a lot of. This is after the bell, so you're going to see some volatility. We're back over 300. People kept asking me, are we going to get back over 300? The answer was yes. You're in on this one at 278. You've got a previous earnings gap up here to 364. Now, the question is, remember, the quote that was used from the last earnings when the CEO said, we are seeing softening in the market. Then CrowdStrike said, here, hold my beer. And CrowdStrike took off because they said they weren't seeing softening in the market. It was a war, and the daggers were drawn. Again, CrowdStrike, I own a little bit. I own more PANW, but I do own CrowdStrike, and I trade CrowdStrike. But I do want to switch those if this earnings comes in soft. If for some reason, again, Palo Alto Networks sees some softening, I've got a significant cushion in my buy price. And if you're at 278, you've got a significant cushion too. Again, that's the 4-hour algorithm that gets you in there. And it provides you some safety. But buying and holding on this one has treated me well. And I don't trade in and out. I just get in and I buy it. Yes, sometimes it hurts when you have a 20, 30% drawdown. But Palo Alto Networks reports after the bell. So does Zoom. And for anybody in the paid newsletter, I do Zoom meetings. I pay for Zoom. Norwegian Cruise Lines will hold its Investors Day. You can see Nikola, which pushes cars downhill. You know, they're having an event. This is a great, if you want to read what's going on all week, this is the one to do it. Now, Microsoft will hold, Microsoft will hold its annual Microsoft Build. Last week, Google had theirs. Hugely impressive. I was impressed with it. OpenAI held theirs, which is a Microsoft partner. But I found it funny that during OpenAI's thing, they said, you know what? We're going to release a desktop app. And it's not going to be on Windows computer. It's going to be on Mac computers. So is Apple in June getting ready to announce some type of partnership where you will have a smart assistant on your iPhone? That is bullish for Apple. So understand might be bullish for Intel as well. I have trimmed half my position in this. Wednesday, we have huge earnings day. We have NVIDIA, Snowflake, and ELF. So you've got a ton of catalysts this week, even though we're kind of over earnings week, earnings month, I should say. This is interesting. Biggest single session post results gains from earnings season. Take a look. Do you own any of these? There's 30 of them. Number one, ResMed, 18%. United Airlines, I don't own. The largest one that I do own, let's see, I own Tesla, which has pulled back in XLY in the consumer discretionary. I own large Google, and I own, Google's the only one that I really own in this one. So they're, huge, Google is the only one. Qualcomm, core portfolio name. So if you want that list, check out the newsletter. I thought it was an interesting list. Biggest moves of this day, it's miners. The miners. No, and it's not, the miners for crypto. It's actual miners in gold and silver mining stocks. They're up, pretty big, 6-7%. Do you want to get into that? I don't know. Not my thing. Wix is up 7% after earnings. Johnson Controls rose 5% after activist Elliott investment, which also hosts pins and others. That's it. The shares of Li Auto are down after they missed earnings. So biggest movers today, nothing big. Microsoft. This is kind of an interesting one, and I saw this. It's big for AMD. Microsoft plans to offer its cloud computing customers a platform of AMD AI chips, which will compete with components made by NVIDIA. AMD is the laggard. I do own both AMD and NVIDIA. I believe I own about the same amount of both. Both of them are coming off of all-time highs, and they're kind of turning around. Now, what I want to point out is that AMD had a little drop on earnings. It's covered that gap. It's covered the gap from earnings. You do have gaps above it, which indicate, there could be a potential. The 50 days turning a little bit. The MACD in a reasonable place. The RSI, a little bit high at 66. But if you continue with confirmation above here, this could be bullish. You will see this move on NVIDIA's earnings day. You will see this one move. That one was interesting. Now, another chip company, Micron, they got an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. What I found interesting on this is that Morgan Stanley said the actual chip name, Micron, is overvalued. They raised the price target from 98 to 130, and that's just based on the movement of the stock. But they said the shares are overvalued, but with demand, they believe that Micron has pricing power. Again, pricing power allows them to increase the prices and move that margin up. So in the short term, they should make money. Again, if the price target is 130 and you're trading at 125, not a huge move up. It's gonna move the stock a little bit. It's up at 127. But if we look at that one from a Seeking Alpha, it's a hold in the quant. It's ranked number 7. If we go and look at Micron here, you can see the 52-week range when it pulls up here is 130, 54 is the high. So you're really going just to the high. When you look at the Wall Street price target, it's 133. And you want that one? I don't think you want that one. I think it's already made its move. So Micron, interesting. Another big thing that's happening today, and this is where I move into. We talk about SMCI a lot. I think that Dell might be a better opportunity. And today there's an announcement or an interview with CEO ServiceNow, Bill McDermott, and NVIDIA and Michael Dell on Bloomberg TV at 2 p.m. New York time, 11 a.m. San Francisco time. Now, I believe that Dell is a buy. I do own Dell, and I also own SMCI. These are the two big names in the server space. And we'll go over Bisco brought up HP, and he remembers, Bisco, you're fine. If you're listening, you're fine. I mean, bringing up HPE was probably good. It's just it's underperformed Dell. I go over before I started this podcast on YouTube, if you're watching live, I did go over why I think Dell is a better opportunity short term. I have been adding to my Dell position. This will move on NVIDIA as well. If you've got a 2 p.m. conference call coming up with Michael Dell and Jensen Huang, both on the same panel, they're going to move. It's going to move on NVIDIA earnings. This one, I was pounding the table to buy here at 113. I thought we're at 149. 149. And I think this one is huge. Now, if we go over to Seeking Alpha and we look at Dell in the quant, Dell, its valuation, a little bit extended. The quant has it as a hold. It's moved down 5 of 26 in information technology. If we go and we look at the Wall Street analysts, their price target is 136, so you have 8% downside. I would argue that is the stock has moved quite a bit. And when you look at the RSI up here at 77, do you want to buy at 149? I would say no. I would say hold off. It's not worth the risk. With that price target down there and the valuation a little bit extended, I would hold and just wait. But when you listen to me and I say buy, it doesn't mean to follow me. It means that I have some belief in this. And to go to the douchebag on YouTube who said I'm a grifter, who is just leading people into bad territory. What are my qualifications? My qualifications are I've been trading for over 40 years. Now, this was before I had charts, before I used charts. I used to do what a lot of people did, which was read the news and then buy and follow people. But you have so many tools out there today to do your own research. So understand you've got to do your own research. But when I put my money into it, my particular theory is that carries some weight. And so should you put your money into it? I saw Stanley Druckenmiller. He heard the new president of Argentina at Davos. And this was a great story on CNBC. And he said, I heard this guy speak. And what he was going to do, he was going to cut government spending by like 40% off the bat because he thought austerity and Social Security kind of stuff, they were paying out too much money and they have a deficit. And this guy came in and just slashed. Then he made a speech at Davos. And he said, hey, we're spending too much. This is my plan, blah, blah, blah. Stanley Druckenmiller, legendary investor, said he heard the speech, saw it on YouTube, asked Perplexity, which is an AI software, to actually summarize it for him. Now, the fact that an 80-year-old freaking guy is using AI to summarize the speech, and then he went and said, hey, go and find me the Argentinian ETFs. That will trade on the U.S. market. And he took 5 of them. And the AI found him 5. He went and put money in just based on that speech. He's up like 30%, he said. Within a couple of months. He's made a huge return. And he quoted a famous investor, I forget who it was, might have been Bill Gurley or somebody, or somebody from one of those old time guys, he said, when you find an opportunity, take it and ask questions and do your research later. So my argument is, if you find somebody who's got some qualifications like me, who retired at 49 after investing for years and doing it right with a 7 to 8 figure portfolio, again, I have qualifications. I am not leading you down, but what I'd like you to do is get your own tools. Understand this. Do not be that douchebag who goes into GameStop because it got to 400. So the douchebag who left a comment that I'm grifting and then I'm leading people into this stuff. Yeah, douchebag. I've got some clout behind me. And part of that clout is, do not get into FFIE if you don't know how to trade charts. Do not buy and hold. Do not listen to your neighbor who says, hey, I've got a good stock. Do not listen to me, douchebag on the internet, who says, hey, I've got a stock pick for you. No, do your own research. But when you hear me buy something on my own, I do have a little bit of clout. I'm not going to win every time. But when I do win, it's usually a little bit big. And then I start adding to stuff. So when you see stuff like this, ask questions later. This is a great list. The all-time high, these reached all-time highs at some point on Friday. Look, we've got the QQQ, SPY, Google. Those are indexes. Walmart, Costco, at AVGL, Broadcom, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Dell, Procter & Gamble. A lot of these are in the core portfolio. All-time highs. ANET. ANET is huge. We went over Arista Networks. I did not get into this one. I made the mistake of not getting into this one on the dip. And I even pointed it out. It is my mistake. We're at 320. The algorithm got you in at 256. And I was saying, hey, we set up this range right here. So when you get into the bottom portion of this range, between 260 and 270, you want to buy. And I said you want to buy. And I didn't buy. Douchebag me. Mistake. Learning mistake. But this is a great list to trade off of. The 52-week high. If you like any of those names, do your research. Here are the top 15 names in Shea Boular's growth performance. And look, SMCI up 212%, Carvana up 122%, AppLovin up 107%, GCT up 95%. Take a look at this. These are great names to get into. I do think those are great names to get into. Let's talk about an ETF. And this ETF is SCHG. And this guy, Wealth Adventures, he goes over, I think his name is Dave. It is a phenomenal performer, SCHG. This is the Schwab US Large Cap Growth. It's got 250 names, so it's not the S&P 500. It's just got the 250 names that are big. This is a phenomenal performer. Use the 4-hour algorithm to find you an entry because it makes you 50% over 2 years. But look at this. If you go back years on this one, yes, in 2021, it saw during the growth factor, you had this horrible 2023. But look at how the 50-day used that 200-day as a bounce, and we've just gone higher. This is a great video to show you how to use Seeking Alpha to actually value this stock. I really liked this video. I think you should actually just take, 8 minutes? 8 minutes and watch it. This is 15 visuals every investor should know. Go to this link on my newsletter. Just take a look at this. I mean, it's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The history of this one, and there's 15 visuals, the top 10 acquisitions of all time. Long-term stocks are the best investments. This is why I say buy and hold these. 4 signs the top and the bottom of the market has been reached. Organic revenue growth is the main driver. All you need is a few big winners. Look at Apple, Domino's Pizza. All you need are a few big winners. You don't need to find every winner in the market. You just need a few. So there's 15 visuals that you can look at. This is a great article because remember, about 10, 15 minutes ago, I said we are in an AI and a GLP-1 market. This is a great debate between analysts on Seeking Alpha. Are Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, which are the 2 GLP-1 leaders, are they overvalued? Take a look. The one that I have in the core portfolio that I really, really like, and I am up on since June of last year, where I added it to the core portfolio in the 500s, it's at 768. You want it in the 4-hour algorithm? The 4-hour algorithm makes you 91% over 2 years, 24 positions over 24 months. Look at this. I said it before. When you bought it down here at 735, you were getting back up here to 78, and you had a nice 10% gain. That was before earnings. 735, you knew they were going to kill it on earnings. You knew they were going to guide higher. That was just foreshadowing that one on earnings. So again, Eli Lilly, in my mind, I think you just buy it and hold it even though it's high. There's an article on that one. This is a new stock. Steve Kress, who is my favorite Seeking Alpha analyst, he's in charge of Alpha Picks. He goes over Fabrinet. FN is the symbol, and how he thinks that it could break out. FN has been up. It's an electronics manufacturing company, and it's just reported earnings. Nice gap up there on earnings. We're past the 3 days. You're seeing it just button hook a little bit. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what a button hook is, go over here to Daily Stock Pick. Go over to the Education Center, and you can see everything about button hooks, about MACD. What's a button hook? What's confirmation? What do these terms mean? All the indicators that I use: cross-ups, Bollinger Bands, leveraged ETFs, PE, Golden Cross, Death Cross, Divergence. Everything is here for you. But if we're looking at Fabrinet, just the chart here, the algorithm got you in at 168. Boy, don't you wish you got in at 168? Yeah, over 24 months, you make 64% in the algorithm. Your average win 13%. Now, the RSI, a little bit extended. MACD crossing down. The algorithm probably won't get you out up here. But if we take a look at the weekly, what you want to see is bottom left to upper right. That's as simple as you can get it. In a stock chart, you want to see bottom left to upper right. That's what you want to see. Fabrinet has that chart. Read this article. See if you want to get into it. See about the valuation. It is valued as a strong buy in the quant. Here is Earnings Hub. This is my favorite earnings website. PANW. After the close today. We have Zoom after the post today. If you're a paid newsletter, I do Zoom meetings with the paid newsletter, so you can interact with me. You can ask me any question that you want. I like Zoom. It's a good one. We got Lowe's before the bell tomorrow. Then we've got on Wednesday, before the bell, you've got PDD. You've got Target. Don't fall asleep on Target. I'll show you an article on Target. I still own Target. You got TJ Maxx. You got Williams-Sonoma. But Wednesday after the close are three big ones. Three really big ones. You've got NVIDIA, you've got Snowflake, and you've got ELF. So let's take a look at those charts. First, NVIDIA. What's the chart saying? It's up 2% today. I think had an upgrade. I think you've got more of an upgrade on this one. You've got this one. It's going to $1,000. Just get it. Add it to your portfolio. At some point in time over the next year, it will hit $1,000 again. It will go above that. I think this one is one that you just want to buy and hold. Has it been extended? No. The MACD isn't as high as it was before. The RSI, a little bit extended at 64. Nothing crazy. Boy, don't you wish you got in there at 838? Again, the algorithm performs the same as buy and hold. So if you have a crazy, crazy sense of, I don't want to hold this at the top, the algorithm over 2 years, 24 months, 19 positions, so you don't even trade once a month on this one. Your average win, 19%. You make 446%. Buy and hold over 2 years, you made 441%. Again, the algorithm takes emotion out of this. Oh, the algorithm's too expensive? It's $552 for the first year. $552. I email you my algorithm. You can get it. If that's too much for you to spend, and you don't feel like spending it, get your own charting program. You can find your own charting program. Chart your own algorithm. But if $552 is something that you think you can make or you can save on the downturn, say you wanted to, this one was trading at $900. It got you out right there with a 71% gain. Did it get you back in? Yes, it got you out back in, but it saved you. It only got you 3% loss there. Then it gets you back in here at 838. It's a good algorithm. Past performance isn't an indication of future performance, but it does save you. It takes emotion out of this. So the next one that is reporting on Wednesday after the bell is Snowflake. Snowflake, I've said it before. Do not use the algorithm on Snowflake. I say that you use, you can find entries into it, and that's what I do. Entry at 150. I bought at 150. I've also bought at 180. Am I upset? No. The reason is because when you look at the weekly on this one, it traditionally trades up to $200. So am I worried about this 180 price that I purchased? No. I will sell at 200. Maybe this is the new CEO's first earnings. If we go over Earnings Hub and we look at Snowflake, if you bring up Snowflake, you can see Snowflake right here. Well, it's estimated 18 cents. What did they report last time? 35 freaking cents. Reported 774 million in revenue. They better have more revenue. If the revenue goes down, the stock will go down. It's just a buying opportunity in my mind. This is a long-term play. This is a growth name. This is an AI name. I believe in that one. Now, you take ELF. We talked about, buy under 200 for Snow. ELF is a different story. This one has been growing. Now, they reported 74 cents last time. The estimate this time is 31 cents. 31 cents, 291 million in revenue. So they might be just spending more money. Their reported last time was 270. If they don't make the revenue numbers, then you're going to be screwed on this one. This one has been a high flyer. It is not like, it's unjustified. The growth has been phenomenal. Now, the algorithm makes you 314% over two years. 20 positions, not even once a month. You make 638% buying and holding. I've said it before that this one is a hyper growth name. It's pulled back a little bit, but here's your channel. Now you're trading down below this channel. Are you trading at the mid-level? No. This one, I'm not into makeup. Your MACD completely falling down. Your RSI is at 47. It's all about the earnings. I would trade this after the earnings. So we also have PDD. PDD is reporting, I think, before the bell. That's Temu. We have TJ Maxx. This is a Chinese stock. Temu. This is Temu. If you order off of Temu, you better own PDD. China stocks have been going crazy. Look at this weekly. You had the golden cross on this one. I said it was coming. This is the resistance at 149. Where you trading 148. Old resistance becomes new support, but it's got to justify its earnings before that happens. Would I buy this? Absolutely not. If you buy Temu, you probably should have it. Thursday, we have Deck. Oh, I don't want FND. We have Deck, which is Decker's Shoes, which if you didn't know, this is the Hoka brand, and that's what they reported. Anon is my pick, but Deck has been a phenomenal performer, up 305% over 24 months. Deck, the algorithm got you in at 825. Boy, aren't you happy that it got you in at 825? Because it's trading at $900 right now. If we go and look at Deck here in Seeking Alpha, and we look at this one, it's a hold from the quant based on valuation. You still have a 4% upside to its price target, average price target. 21 analysts over the last 90 days. 11 said strong buy. When you look at the revisions, over the last 90 days, 6 up for earnings per share, 2 down. 6 up for revenue, 2 down. When you go and you look at Earnings Hub and we look at Deck here, Intuit is the tax program they might show. You see, reported $15.11. Their estimate, $2.80. Revenue, $884 million. Reported, $1.56 billion. This one, the estimates have been brought down significantly. I don't know that necessarily makes a huge difference. I'm not a shoe guy. The one that I've always said was Anon. Anon has been eating Decker's Hoka brand out. They've been eating them up. Here, Anon reported record earnings, $38.23. And I said, buy this under 30. Boy, look at where it dipped under May 10th. Got to $29.84. If you're buying on shoes, if you're buying Hoka brand, go and get Deck. Buy it before earnings. Again, buy what you want. But yeah, Earnings Hub there. If you sign up for Seeking Alpha Premium, by the way, what I really like is this upcoming earnings on your stock. Seeking Alpha Premium, if you go to the link tree, first, There's the Trendspider link. Second, you have the Seeking Alpha Premium. Save 20%. 20% free 7-day trial. What I like about it is I have portfolios put in here, and you can customize portfolios. I need to add more because I do like to track this stuff. But upcoming earnings on your stocks: Palo Alto, NVIDIA, Costco reports on the 30th. Alta reports on the 30th because I do own Alta. United Healthcare Group, which is in the core portfolio, reports on 7/12. So our earnings are really over on the 30th. But you've got a ton of other earnings. These are the notable other earnings that are coming up. So I do like that. If you want Seeking Alpha Premium, I've shown you how to look at the quant, how to look at that stuff. You've got every 20% off. Best money I ever spent was getting that Seeking Alpha Premium subscription. Now, NVIDIA. If you are interested in NVIDIA and trading this around earnings, NVIDIA's price target was just raised. It's over $1,000, and it's trading at $950, $960. It's just one you want to have in your portfolio. Do not sleep on Target earnings this week. Walmart was super, super strong. The quant has you as a strong buy. The quant has it as a strong buy. And that is a good thing. Now, when you take a look at it, it turned a strong buy here at 173. You're trading at 158. I do think this is a $170 stock. If we look at the summary on this one, then the 52-week range, you're going up to 181. I think it's a $170 stock. They get dinged on valuation. And if they look at the valuation, I mean, it's really just the price to book. They've done really, really well. It's going to all be about inventories for Target. Now, a trade idea for you. I went over this prior, but I will go over here. How did I find this? Well, let's take a look. I went to FinViz and I went to the home screen. Again, if you don't have Seeking Alpha, FinViz is the free version of this. Seeking Alpha gives you far more analysis, and it's all commercial free, ad free. So it is worth the $180 that I pay for a year. But what I saw was natural gas is up 2%. So I said, natural gas, that's BOIL. BOIL is a triple levered ETF on natural gas. Now, the algorithm here got you in at $14. And I've been saying here, this was a nice algorithm pick, 36%. I've been saying that natural gas is at historic lows here in this country. In this country, natural gas is historic lows. And how do I know that? Well, KOLD, which is the inverse. This is the bear version. This is the triple levered bear. This has been in a trend that is breaking out above its downtrend. So this was while natural gas was rising in price, and we've just gone up. If you take a look at this was May 2021. Now, if you take a look at this all the way back to the Ukrainian war, this is the trend that it was down. These are by the way, I should mention both KOLD and BOIL. They are both devaluing currencies. So these are decaying assets. They will decay over time. These are not investments. They based on the futures, and they are not investments. So these are ones that you don't want to buy and hold. These are ones that you want to trade. So this is a trade idea. But take a look. Ever since this one started to trade higher, then what would happen? This was based on March 13th, 2023. So let's go back to BOIL and let's look at March 13th, 2023. We're going to go back. It's still in a downward trend. Let's take a look. We're going to go weekly. March 13th, 2023. If we go back here, March 2023, you're right here. So it's traded from 86 down to 20. That's not a good thing. But take a look at the volume. The volume's increased. And I've said this before, volume increases price. So as this is increased, the price really hasn't gone up. But the interest in this has. Look at the RSI. The RSI just hangs out low here. At some point in time, this will take off and this will re-energize its trade. If you take a look at just a trend line of this, take a look at this trend line right here. We're touching 3 points. Where do you have to go? I mean, I'm going to let's see. We don't want that change percentage up there because we don't care about change percentage. We just want to take a look at that. Look at that trend line. That's since 2015. Where are you on the trend line? You're down below it. And so if the price of natural gas is going to come up, this is probably a bullish thing. Now, if we look at the 4-hour algorithm and we take a look at this, again, you're losing money on this over a 24-month period. I would argue you want to find entries on this that look good, A-plus entries. This was an A-plus entry, to be honest with you, at 1426. The MACD, super low right there. You've put in a nice base right here, 1426. Could you have gone lower? Make sure you had your stop losses. And you went down to 13, but make sure you have your stop losses. But that would have been a nice trade because you're at $20 right now. You are moving positive on the 50-day. You are moving positive on the 200-day. Well, 9 and 21. 200 still negative. 200 will most likely always be negative unless it's a long-term uptrend like we had with the Ukrainian war. This is an interesting trade idea, though. So just an idea. I put it out there. If you don't want to trade the meme stocks like FFIE, we can check them up on FFIE. It is up 82% at $1.88. Since we opened today, you can see on we can go to a 5-minute chart. How's it going? Well, it gapped up. It gapped up over its 200-day. Still have a negative 50-day right there. But you have a positive MACD. You have inside candles on this one. Again, understand what you're trading. This is not one to buy and hold. But FFIE is one that you want to subscribe to the newsletter and find out the 3 indicators that I use to try and tell you when to buy. Now, Bisco, I mentioned this before. Bisco said, hey, with SMCI, he had mentioned HPE. I agree with you on Dell and SMCI outbeating them. I was only mentioning HPE because SMCI has a video mentioning them and Dell as the 2 competitors. I own SMCI for the 3. Sorry for the confusion. Bisco, you're fine. I was just pointing out, hey, if you want to play in this space, there's 2 players that I would play in, and those are the 2 that are really leading. I think HPE is the 3rd. It's just it's mentioned as a competitor. You didn't do anything wrong. I think it's right that you pointed it out. SMCI, this will move. Buy it under 900. It's at 902 right now. Like I said with NVIDIA, I think you want to get this one under 950. It's at 947. Alex Bruce wants me to look at NVIDIA. We already looked at NVIDIA. What do you want them on earnings? If you go to Earnings Hub, let's just go to Earnings Hub and take a look. Let's take a look at their expectations because I didn't do it, to be honest with you. But NVIDIA, if you take a look at their expectations, they reported $5.16 last quarter. They're expected $5.18, so they're expected higher. If people are waiting for the Blackwell chip, you will see this fall. Revenue, $22.86 billion. They reported $22.1 billion. They're expected to raise. If that falls by a little because people are putting off their purchases to buy Blackwell, that will hurt the stock. So you want to take a look at this stuff. The expectations are extremely high. The last 4 times NVIDIA has reported, if we go to a weekly, it has blown it away. Look at this. If you go back here, this is February of last year. This was where they really started the AI boom. Look, they beat, boom. It goes from 200 to 300 within the next earnings. Next earnings, it went from 300 to 400. Boy, that was great. Now, your next earnings, you went from 450 to 450. It just flattened out. Didn't lose you a ton of money. Just kind of kept going at 450. Next earnings from 450, you went all the way to 700. And then you went from 700 to all the way to 900. I think this one goes to 1,000. Look at the MACD. It is super high. This one could use a fall. Do I expect it to fall? If it does, it creates a buying opportunity, Alex. That's all it is. It's a buying. Nobody is touching the capability of NVIDIA anytime soon. So understand that's it. Now let's talk about cross-ups and scans. If you're part of the free, if you're a free member of the Daily Stock Pick newsletter, then you can scroll down to the bottom and what you're looking for are the scans. These are stocks that are bullish in the 4-hour algorithm. If you have Trendspider, you can chart these yourself. You can just look at it. Just take a look at that end part. The scans are what's bullish. Roblox has a cross up, 32.88. We talked about it on Friday, how this one probably is filling this gap all the way to 38. At the very least, it's going to 40. This is a stock that you trade to 40. So if you want to buy it at 32.88, giddy up. At some point in time, this is a $40 stock. It is a risk because they're not making money. Higher for longer does hurt them. Then Tesla. Tesla has a cross up here. This one has been kind of capitulating and putting in a little floor here. 177. Got you out with a 4% gain off the last purchase right after earnings. Right after earnings, it got you in at 160. Now, it looks like, 4.87%. Not bad. Now, here's the thing about the 4-hour algorithm. Say you like trading Tesla. You like the volatility. You like the cars. I own a Tesla. I love the car. I own this as part of XLY. I don't trade. I don't own this one. My parents own a ton of this. But the algorithm over 24 months, 23 positions. So you don't even trade once per month. But that once per month gets you 118% over 2 years. What if you invested 2 years ago in Tesla, you've lost 25%. So it protects you from the downside. Again, your average win, 17%. That's a great one to trade in the 4-hour algorithm. Now, one that was a short squeeze and actually reported and we were watching, this was one where it wasn't a short squeeze. It was a short seller report that came in. And that was during this, right after these earnings, where they just lost it. They just lost it. And this one lost a ton of place. Let's see. Let's go to the weekly here. Because you can see it hasn't really started up. We'll go back to the 4-hour. This one has a cross up. This is in the daily stock pick watch list. So this is the watch list that I created that I give you when you sign up for Trendspider. 29.13 entry in. Boy, don't you wish you took that one? Because it's 32.06. You still have time to get it. It's up a little bit today. It's up 9.68%. It's probably coming to fill that gap up here. It's after their earnings. They had good earnings, I assume. We can go over here and we can look at GLBE. And they reported expected minus 23 cents. They reported minus 19 cents. They beat by 17%. Revenue beat by 30%. They're up 10%. They're up 10%. And the algorithm knew it. PayPal. This is one I got out of. It is still in the watch list because I know a lot of people followed me into this one. PayPal gets you in at 64.55. I just don't like this stock. It doesn't trade well for me. I don't want to own it. I think the new management needs some time to get in there. It's just, it's what a mess. And PDD. PDD is Pinduoduo. This owns Temu. I've said it before that 149 is a resistance level. That is a obvious resistance level. See how it kind of provided that. Your old resistance becomes new support here. So it became support, but it lost support. So you wanted to get out. Now you've got a positive moving 50-day and a positive moving 200-day. China stocks have been killing it. Do you want to get into this one? If you buy from Temu, I would say yeah. If you don't buy from Temu and you don't think that Temu is going to take over the world, which I think it might, yeah, don't get it. So again, if you have any questions, by the way, one that reports Deckers. I think we went over Deckers. It's up 1.96%, but they report as well this week. If you want the algorithm, Trendspider, it's on sale. This is their Memorial Day sale to get an extra 5% off. This is a great one. This is a great charting program. If you want to get into charting, get a free chart. Go over here to the link tree, and the fourth link is Webull. They have a fantastic desktop charting program. Do not use your phone to chart stocks. You are not doing yourself a favor with a small screen. At the very least, you should have an iPad. At the most, you should have a 27-inch screen. You should actually have 7 different screens at the most so that you can watch charts. But what does Trendspider do? It takes those 7 screens and it puts alerts in for you so that you don't have to sit there and watch these things. Those professional traders with 9 different screens, you can set up every alert that you want during the day to get started, and you can go about your day. You can go drink your protein shakes. You can go make your eggs for breakfast. You can do whatever. You can go do yard work, and boom, a text or an email shows up on your phone. You see it on your Apple Watch. Boom, you go in and you get it. That's what Trendspider does. It is trading on steroids to where you don't have to sit there and watch for all of these triggers. So Trendspider's that, Seeking Alpha Premium. This also, you can set alerts on this one. Say Deckers. Say it, let's look at the summary and see the 52-week high. The 52-week high, I think, is around this price, if I'm not mistaken. Did it hit a 52-week high? 956. So say you wanted to set up an alert in Seeking Alpha Premium for where it gets over 900. Well, just set it up. It will email you or it will send you on mobile. You can do whatever you want in Seeking Alpha. Again, for $189, it is the best fundamental platform that I think you can buy with all the bells and whistles that you need. Everything that you need to do in Seeking Alpha in a fundamental story, like trigger a price, trigger a some other move. Let's see, what do they have? They have price. They have rating. Say you want a quant rating. Say you want the Seeking Alpha rating or the Wall Street rating. Say you want, both of those are available for you, and you can set yourself up alerts so that when it changes, you get an alert. That's Seeking Alpha Premium. It is a phenomenal platform. Now, say you don't want to do any of this work and you just want some stocks that you can buy and hold. That's where Alpha Picks comes in. Save $50 using my link on Alpha Picks. These are 2 stocks per month that you get. There's alerts when to sell. There's alerts when to buy. It comes with full support of what the portfolio is. You just look over here and it's Alpha Picks. You get all of this analysis on day one. How do you do it? Well, you can pick 5 stocks. You can pick 5 strong buy stocks. And you know what I did for you? Here on the Daily Stock Based Newsletter, on the paid version, I gave you, I think it was this week or last week. Here it is. The remaining creating my Alpha Picks portfolio with 5 picks. That was just on May 11th. The 5 picks that I recommend from Alpha Picks. That's what I did. I just picked 5. Buy the entire portfolio. These are buy and hold. This is, if you're not into fundamental analysis and you don't understand it, these analysis that they do, it is 100% a great entry into this. So we just got one on the May 15th. We've got this Alpha Pick stock selection. You've got the portfolio reviews. All of these are fantastic. So you go over to the link tree and you've got Trendspider, Seeking Alpha Premium, and Alpha Picks. And if you don't have a charting program or you just want a great mobile app to trade on, my large portfolio is in Fidelity. Fidelity, by far the best broker out there, brokerage firm. Webull, one of the best trading platforms. If you're trading GameStop and FFIE, do not do it on Robinhood. They have been shady in the past when they've deleted folks, not allowed you to buy GameStop. They only allowed selling, which crashed the stock. Webull has not been shady. Webull hasn't stopped it like that. Robinhood did. So I'm just saying, if you want a non-shady, very good mobile platform, Webull is the way. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm here every day. Okay, take care. Bye.
I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't